The studio lights blazed down on the set of The View, where the atmosphere was already buzzing with anticipation as country music superstar Blake Shelton took his seat at the iconic round table. Fans in the audience, a mix of devoted country music listeners and daytime TV enthusiasts, clapped enthusiastically, expecting a light-hearted chat about Shelton's latest album, his role on The Voice, or perhaps his high-profile marriage to Gwen Stefani. The co-hosts Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hostin, Sarah Haynes, and Alyssa Farah Griffina greeted him with their usual blend of warmth and curiosity, but there was an undercurrent of tension in the air, one that even the casual viewer could sense through the screen. Behar, known for her sharp wit and unapologetic opinions, leaned forward with a glint in her eye, ready to steer the conversation into uncharted waters. What began as a standard celebrity interview quickly took a turn, as Behar, never one to shy away from controversy, posed a question that caught Shelton off guard, a pointed inquiry about his views on a recent political issue that had been dominating headlines. The question wasn't about music or his personal life, it was a deliberate pivot to a hot-button topic, one that Behar knew would spark a reaction. Shelton, typically laid back and charming, hesitated for a moment, his signature grin faltering as he processed the unexpected shift. The audience, sensing the change in tone, grew quiet, their eyes darting between Behar's steely gaze and Shelton's tightening jaw. He responded cautiously at first, trying to keep things diplomatic, but Behar pressed further, her tone growing sharper as she challenged his stance with a mix of humor and accusation. The exchange escalated quickly, with Shelton's southern drawl taking on a defensive edge as he pushed back, refusing to be cornered. The other co-hosts tried to interject, with Whoopi attempting to defuse the situation with a joke, but the momentum was unstoppable. Behar doubled down, her voice rising as she accused Shelton of dodging the issue, while he fired back, calling her out for twisting his words. The once friendly banter had morphed into a full-blown verbal sparring match, and the audience was now on the edge of their seats, witnessing a clash that felt more like a political debate than a daytime talk show segment. Social media was already lighting up with clips of the heated moment, as viewers at home began to take sides, some cheering Behar's boldness, others rallying behind Shelton's refusal to back down. The tension reached a boiling point when Shelton, visibly frustrated, stood up mid-sentence, his chair scraping loudly against the floor, signaling that he'd had enough. The producers, sensing chaos, cut to a commercial break, but not before the cameras caught Behar's smirk and Shelton's stormy exit, leaving the audience gasping and the co-hosts scrambling to regain control. This wasn't just a disagreement, it was a moment that would dominate headlines and fuel endless online debates, as the clash between a country music icon and a talk show veteran became the talk of the nation. As the commercial break ended, the cameras returned to a noticeably tense set, where the co-hosts were attempting to regain their composure, but the absence of Blake Shelton was glaring. The audience, still reeling from the explosive exchange, whispered among themselves, while the co-hosts exchanged awkward glances, unsure how to address the elephant in the room. Whoopi Goldberg, ever the seasoned moderator, tried to steer the conversation back to safer territory, cracking a joke about the unpredictability of live TV, but the attempt fell flat. Sunny Hostin chimed in, offering a legal perspective on the political topic that had sparked the feud, but her measured tone couldn't erase the lingering intensity of the moment. Meanwhile, social media platforms like X were exploding with reactions, as users posted clips of the confrontation, some praising Behar for holding Shelton accountable, while others accused her of ambushing the guest who wasn't prepared for a political grilling. Hashtags like #BlakeSheltonWalkOff and #JoyBeharClash trended within minutes, with fans dissecting every word, gesture, and facial expression. Back on the set, Sarah Haynes tried to lighten the mood by sharing a personal anecdote, but the audience's attention was elsewhere, their phones buzzing with notifications as the story spread like wildfire. Behind the scenes, producers were in a frenzy, debating whether to coax Shelton back to the set or let the segment continue without him. Rumors later surfaced that Shelton had been asked to leave by the show's staff, though conflicting reports suggested he walked off of his own accord, unwilling to continue the confrontation. The truth was murky, but the optics were undeniable. A country star, known for his easygoing charm, had been pushed to his limit by Behar's relentless questioning. Off-camera, sources claimed Behar was unapologetic, viewing the exchange as just another day at the office, while Shelton's team was reportedly furious, accusing the show of setting him up for a no-win situation. The clash wasn't just a fleeting moment of TV drama, it was a cultural flashpoint, highlighting the growing divide between celebrity culture and political discourse. Fans of Shelton, particularly from conservative-leaning regions, felt he'd been unfairly targeted, while Behar's supporters argued that she was simply doing her job, asking tough questions and holding powerful figures accountable. The incident sparked broader conversations about the role of talk shows in navigating sensitive topics and whether guests like Shelton, who thrive in the entertainment world, should be expected to engage in political debates. As the episode wrapped, the co-hosts avoided mentioning Shelton's name, but the damage was done. The moment was already being replayed across news outlets, with pundits weighing in on who was in the right. In the days following the incident, the fallout from Blake Shelton's clash with Joy Behar became a full-blown media spectacle, with every major outlet picking up the story and spinning it to fit their narrative. Tabloids ran sensational headlines, while late-night hosts like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert couldn't resist poking fun at the awkwardness of the encounter, reenacting the moment with exaggerated flair. On X, the debate raged on, with users creating memes that juxtaposed Shelton's laid-back country persona with Behar's fiery New York attitude, some calling it a classic city versus country showdown. Conservative commentators rallied behind Shelton, framing the incident as another example of liberal media bias, while progressive voices praised Behar for not letting a celebrity off the hook. The controversy even caught the attention of political figures, with some weighing in to either defend Shelton's right to his views or support Behar's unapologetic style. Meanwhile, Shelton himself remained relatively quiet, posting only a cryptic tweet about keeping it real that sent his fans into a frenzy of speculation. Sources close to the singer claimed he felt blindsided by the confrontation, having expected a promotional appearance rather than a political ambush. Behar, on the other hand, addressed the incident on the next episode of The View, doubling down on her stance and shrugging off the backlash with her trademark sarcasm, saying, "If you can't handle the heat, stay out of the hot seat." Her co-hosts were more diplomatic, with Alyssa Farah Griffin suggesting that the show thrives on spirited debate, while Sunny Hostin emphasized the importance of holding public figures accountable, regardless of their fame. The incident also reignited discussions about The View's reputation for contentious moments, with critics arguing that the show often prioritizes drama over substance. Yet, ratings told a different story. The episode featuring Shelton's walk-off was one of the highest rated in months, proving that controversy sells. Behind closed doors, there were whispers that ABC executives were torn. Some saw the incident as a ratings goldmine, while others worried about alienating viewers who felt the show had crossed a line. For Shelton, the clash became a defining moment, forcing him to navigate a media landscape far removed from the honky-tonks and concert halls where he typically shines. His fans launched a campaign to boycott The View, while others urged him to return for a follow-up appearance to set the record straight. The incident also prompted reflection within the industry, with talk show producers reportedly re-evaluating how they handle celebrity guests in politically charged environments. As the dust settled, it was clear that the Shelton-Behar clash had tapped into something deeper, a reflection of a polarized nation where even a daytime talk show could become a battleground for ideological warfare. Weeks later, the ripple effects of the Blake Shelton and Joy Behar clash continued to reverberate, shaping conversations about celebrity, media, and the intersection of entertainment and politics. The View leaned into the controversy, with subsequent episodes featuring heated discussions about the role of talk shows in addressing divisive issues. Though the co-hosts carefully avoided naming Shelton directly, Behar, however, remained unapologetic, using her platform to defend her approach and even taking jabs at critics who accused her of being too aggressive. Meanwhile, Shelton pivoted back to his music career, announcing a new single that many speculated was inspired by the ordeal, with lyrics hinting at standing up to scrutiny and staying true to one's roots. His fans, particularly in rural America, rallied around him, turning the incident into a badge of honor for their favorite star, who they felt had been unfairly targeted by a coastal elite. The controversy also sparked a broader debate about the expectations placed on celebrities to weigh in on political matters, with some arguing that stars like Shelton should be free to focus on their craft without being dragged into ideological battles. Others countered that public figures, by virtue of their platform, have a responsibility to engage with pressing issues, even if it means risking backlash. The incident became a case study in media studies courses, with professors analyzing how a single TV moment could spiral into a cultural phenomenon. On X, the conversation evolved, with users sharing think pieces and hot takes, some calling for Behar to be fired, others demanding an apology from Shelton for walking off. The clash also had unintended consequences for The View, which faced renewed scrutiny over its treatment of guests, with former co-hosts like Meghan McCain weighing in to share their own negative experiences with the show's confrontational style. Yet, for all the criticism, the incident solidified The View's place as a lightning rod for cultural debates, proving its relevance in an era of fractured media. For Shelton, the experience was a lesson in the perils of stepping outside the comfort zone of entertainment, though it also boosted his visibility, with his next concert tour selling out in record time. The clash with Behar, while uncomfortable, had inadvertently humanized him to some, showing a side of the singer that was raw and unfiltered. As for Behar, the incident only cemented her reputation as a fearless provocateur, unafraid to challenge anyone, from politicians to pop stars. The saga of Blake Shelton's exit from The View became more than just a viral memento. It was a mirror held up to a divided society, where even a talk show couch could become a stage for the nation's deepest tensions.